12, we are going to discuss about the key points. See, these key points, whatever I am telling you, this will help you in the competition exam as well as to revise the chapter in a quick revision. For a main point, we are going to write down. Please you take it out your notebook and pen and note it down. There are not only 6 key points, there are number of key points. First you write down these 6, I will explain each and every point. Write down these 6 key points and then from continue I will tell and you have to note it down. See, first key point is NCl5 is not known, as you know this. Why NCl5 is not known? See, nitrogen belonging to the 15 group and maximum it can accommodate 3 electron. So NCl3 can be known. But sir, PCl5 is also known. So why PCl5 is known? The reason is in phosphorus there is a vacant d orbital. So when there is a vacant d orbital in the phosphorus, so the phosphorus electronic configuration can expand. Whereas there is an absence of d orbital in nitrogen, so here the expansion doesn't occur. When expansion doesn't occur means NCl5 cannot be formed. That's why the first key point is NCl5 is not known due to the absence of vacant d orbital. Due to the absence of vacant d orbital. This point is clear? Okay. Next, KNO3 undergo decomposition and forms what? KNO2 and oxygen gas. So this is the one preparation of an oxygen. Next, oxides of nitrogen and phosphorus are acidic. Antimony, bismuth are arsenic and antimony is amphoteric and bismuth is basic. So moving downside the group, the property of acidic oxide decreases and basic increases. Why bismuth is basic? Because it can only show the positive oxidation state. Due to this reason, the bismuth is a basic in nature. Also, nitrogen, that is the group number 15. Yes or no? So group number 15 means maximum oxidation state is +5, but moving downside the group +2 unit less is more stable. So Bi will only show the Bi +3 instead of Bi +5 because due to inert pair effect. Whatever I am telling you, everything has been done. Okay, next. White phosphorus, due to its low ignition temperature, is kept under water. This is very important key point, that why white phosphorus is kept under water? Due to its low ignition temperature. If it comes in the presence of an atmosphere, it will automatically catch the fire. Why? Because atmosphere temperature is enough to ignite the phosphorus. That's why the phosphorus is kept under water, so that it should not reach the temperature to the atmosphere temperature. So white phosphorus, due to its low ignition temperature, it is kept under water. Next, NF3 is least basic. Very important question, very important key point. Why? NF3 is least basic because in NF3 there are 3 fluorine which are more electronegative element which is attached to this nitrogen, and there is a one lone pair. So this lone pair are more attracted towards this more electronegative fluorine. So there is very difficult to remove this lone pair from this nitrogen due to this 3 fluorine. Hence it cannot donate easily this lone pair. Hence it is a least basic. So NF3 is a least basic because of high electronegative element of 3 fluorine and the lone pair present on the nitrogen. So this lone pair, he is attracted toward this fluorine. So lone pair is completely attracted. Yes or no? So there is very difficult to remove the lone pair from this nitrogen because lone pair is very strongly attracted towards this fluorine. So it is very difficult to remove the lone pair. When it is difficult to remove the lone pair, hence NF3 is least basic. Clear? Next, atmosphere nitrogen is inert. Why? Due to presence of triple bond, as you know this all. Yes or no? So atmospheric nitrogen is highly inert. That's why it is filled under the chips packet and food packet so that it remains fresh. So why the chips packet and food packets nitrogen is filled inside? Because nitrogen is unreactive. Why nitrogen is unreactive? Because it has a very high bond dissociation enthalpy which cannot be achieved at a room temperature. And why it is having a high bond dissociation enthalpy? Due to the presence of triple bond between 2 atoms of an nitrogen. So you can note down this point also, that atmospheric nitrogen is inert at room temperature, inert due to the triple bond present between 2 nitrogen, and it is having a very high bond dissociation enthalpy, that is nearly 945 kJ per mole, which cannot be achieved at room temperature. Hence nitrogen is very inert at a room temperature. That's why it is filled in number of the food packets. Clear? Write down this. Pause the video and write down this all 6 points in your book. I will continue with the 7th. Pause the video. Okay. So I hope you have paused the video If not, again you can pause, write down. So I hope you have written it, this all 6 point. I am continuing with the 7. So make a number 7 in your notebook. So write down the 7th point. Ready? Nitrogen does not form complex. Nitrogen does not form complex. Why? Nitrogen does not form complex. Why? Because of absence of vacant d orbital. Because to make the complex, expansion is required. So nitrogen cannot undergo expansion due to the absence of vacant d orbital. So due to the absence of vacant d orbital, expansion does not occur. That's why nitrogen do not form complex. Write down, nitrogen does not form complex because of absence of d orbital. Because of absence of d orbital. Because of absence of d orbital. Clear? Next point you write down. Next key point write down. Write down. On reacting C12H22O11. Write down. On reacting C12H22O11 with nitric acid. It forms oxalic acid with the removal of a water. It forms what? Oxalic acid. This is very important. Please remember this. It forms oxalic acid. And who is working here? Nitric acid as an oxide. See, nitric acid is removing the water, means it is acting as a dehydrating agent. Okay, so nitric acid when react with C12H22O11 with sugar and forms what? Oxalic acid. Please remember this. Ready? So nitric acid reacts with C12H22O11 and forms what? Oxalic acid. You can balance off yourself. Clear? Write down next. N3H is known as a hydrazoic acid. Please remember next, hydrazoic acid. N3H is known as a hydrazoic acid and it decomposes to form N3 minus and H plus. Please take it out. See, this is very important. So what is the splitting of N3H? That is hydrazoic acid. So as you know, it is an acid. So acid will form what? H plus ion. So it is removing H plus. It forms what? N3 minus. Write down. Hydrazoic acid decompose to form N3 minus and H plus. Written man. These are very important key points. Okay. Next you write down. Liquid ammonia is used in a refrigeration. Liquid ammonia is used as a refrigeration. Liquid ammonia is used as a refrigeration because it has high heat of vaporization. Because it has a high heat of vaporization. Liquid ammonia is used as a refrigeration because it has a high heat of vaporization. Liquid ammonia is used in refrigeration because it has high heat of vaporization. Because it has high heat of vaporization. Liquid ammonia is used in refrigeration because it has high heat of vaporization. Write down next. PCl5 in solid state. PCl5 in solid state forms PCl4 plus PCl6 minus. This you know, splitting of PCl5, yes or no? So PCl5, next key point, PCl5 in solid state, it forms PCl4 plus and PCl6 minus. I told you also, removal of one chlorine. So when one chlorine will be removed, minus will go, so plus will create. Acceptance of one chlorine. So when one chlorine is accepted, minus will be created. Okay. So PCl5 in solid state forms PCl4 plus and PCl6 minus. Clear? Next. NCl3 is used as an explosive material. Write down. NCl3 is used as an explosive material. So NH3 plus Cl2. Write down the preparation also. NCl3 plus HCl. So this NCl3 is used as an explosive material. Write down the reaction also. This is the key point. So NCl3 is used as an explosive material. You can write down the reaction. The reaction says NH3 plus Cl2. NH3 plus Cl2 forms NCl3 plus HCl. So NCl3 is used as an explosive. Write down phosphonitrile. Write down next very important key point, phosphonitrile. Phosphonitrile. Phosphonitrile compound are known as phosphazenes. Phosphonitrile compounds are known as phosphazenes. Okay, see, understand how to draw the structure. So the structure is P4N4Cl8. P4N4Cl8. See, first you write down P here, then you write down P here, and you know phosphorus has a capacity to make here 4 bonds. So here N will be formed, here N will be formed, here Cl will come, here Cl will come. Clear? Then again you do copy paste. So here N will come, here N will come, here Cl will come, here Cl will come. Now nitrogen has a capacity to make 3 bonds. So nitrogen 1 bond, still 3 bonds they will make. So how 3 bonds? So here 1 P, here 1 P, here 1 center is P, then again here Cl, again here Cl. So in this way, this is structure. Structure is not required, but then also you remember this is known as a phosphonitrile compound known as a phosphazenes. Okay, P4N4Cl8. Clear? Or I'll explain once more the structure. It might ask in the exam. I don't know. First, what you do? You write down P here, you write down P here. You make Cl here, you make Cl here. You make Cl here, you make Cl here. You make N here, you make N here. You make N here, you make N here. Okay? Now you react with P here, make a bond with P here. Here also P, here also P. 2 Cl, here also 2 Cl. Count Cl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Count phosphorus. 1, 2, 3, 4. Count nitrogen. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clear? Write down this. Written? Great. Write down. Cryosurgery. Cryosurgery is the application of extreme cold application of creating extreme cold temperature to remove unnecessary tissues or destroyed tissues, during cryosurgery. Okay, write down. The supercooled liquid nitrogen is sprayed on supercooled liquid nitrogen is sprayed on destroyed tissue and they are circulated through a tube called cryophobe. They are circulated through a tube called cryophobe. Okay, write down next. Cryophobe. Ready? Next, you can put the number. I don't know number. Oxygen mixed with helium or carbon dioxide is used for artificial respiration. Oxygen mixed with helium or carbon dioxide is used for artificial respiration. Clear? Sulfan. I am not talking about sulfant. Sulfant, I told you, I am talking about sulfan only. So write down sulfan. Sulfan is a pure liquid SO3. Sulfan is a pure liquid SO3. Sulfan is a pure liquid SO3. I am not talking about sulfant, 100% that I have given in the MCQ. I am not talking about TO, I am only talking about no, sulfant. Okay, write down next. Write down next. Bilstein test. Write down. Bilstein test. Bilstein test. Write down this just for your information. Huh? Bilstein. B-E-I-L S-T-E-I-N S-T-E-I-N test. Write down. In this test, organic compound is heated. In this test, organic compound is heated on a copper wire in a flame. On a copper wire in a flame. If the flame appear green or bluish green, if the flame appear green or bluish green, if the flame appear green or bluish green, it indicates the presence of halogen. It indicates the presence of halogen in that organic compound. Suppose if I take compound as ethane, so this is one organic compound, and when I heat this compound on a copper wire, so it will not give me blue or greenish bluish flame, bluish or greenish bluish flame, no, it will not give me. So I will understand there is no presence of halogen. But if I heat this compound, that is chloroethane or ethyl chloride, if I heat this compound by taking the copper wire, if I take the copper wire and put in the chloroethane, and if I start to heat in the flame, so flame will give me green or greenish bluish flame. So I will understand, okay, so this compound contains halogen, that is chlorine or fluorine or bromine or iodine. Okay, so that is nothing but a what? Bilstein test. Bilstein test says what? That if you heat any organic compound by on a copper wire in a flame, if the flame generated is green or bluish green, then you have to understand that the organic compound contains somewhere halogen. So that is nothing but Bilstein test. Clear? Okay. Write down next. I-131. I-131. Write down next. Very important. I-131. I-131. That is iodine. So I-131. It's a one radioactive isotope of iodine. Okay. So I-131 is used in treatment of thyroid disorders. I-131 is used in treatment of thyroid disorder. I-131 is used in treatment of thyroid disorder. Clear? Hello, next. AgCl, silver chloride. AgCl is insoluble in water. AgCl is insoluble in water. AgCl is insoluble in water. Clear? Write down next. Fluorine does not form any kind of oxyacids. Fluorine does not form any except one. Yes or no? So fluorine only form one oxyacid. So fluorine does not form more number of oxyacids due to high electronegative nature. Due to high electronegative nature. Clear? Write down next. XeO3 contains 3 sigma bond, 3 sigma bond and 1 lone pair. XeO3 contains 3 sigma bond and 1 lone pair. It's sp3 hybridized and geometry is trigonal pyramidal. And geometry is trigonal pyramidal. If I am wrong anywhere, please correct me, okay, by commenting. Next, write down. All the xenon fluorides are strongly oxidizing agent. All the xenon fluoride are strongly oxidizing. All the xenon fluorides are strongly oxidizing. All the xenon fluorides are strongly oxidizing. All the xenon fluoride are strongly oxidizing. Clear? Write down. Next, you write down. Helium is twice as heavy as hydrogen. Helium is twice heavy as hydrogen. Its lifting power is 92% than that of hydrogen. Its lifting power means it can easily lift. So how hydrogen cannot lift easily, whereas helium can lift easily. How much? 92%. So helium can lift easily than hydrogen by 92%. So its lifting power is 92% than that of hydrogen. Helium has the lowest melting and boiling point. Helium has the lowest melting and boiling point of any element. Helium has the lowest melting and boiling point of any element, which makes liquid helium an ideal coolant, which makes the liquid helium an ideal coolant for many extremely low temperature. For many extremely low temperature, such as superconducting magnet, such as superconducting magnet, and cryogenics research, to create low temperatures. Okay, cryogenic research where nearly zero absolute temperature is required. Where nearly zero absolute temperature is required. Here. Next you write down. Fusion mixture is Na2CO3 plus K2CO3. Write down this, very important, okay. So fusion mixture is Na2CO3 plus K2CO3 is known as a fusion mixture. Na2CO3 plus K2CO3 is known as a mixture. Na2CO3 plus K2CO3 is known as a mixture. Na2CO3 plus K2CO3 is known as a mixture. Next, the formula for glass is Na2O CaO SiO2. The formula for glass is Na2O CaO 6SiO2. The formula or the composition of glass is Na2O CaO 6SiO2. Clear? Write down next. Write down next. Next, nitroleum is known as nitroleum. This you know, I guess, CaCN2 plus carbon. So this mixture is known as a nitroleum. It is used as a fertilizer. Okay. So CaCN2 plus carbon. Write down. Next, when silicon tetrafluoride reacts with water, silicon tetrafluorides reacts with water, forms H2SiF6 and H2SiF4. H2SiF6, balance at your home, okay, and H2SiO4, sorry, O4. This is known as a silicic acid, white silicic acid. Okay. So silicon, okay, balance at your home. So silicon tetrafluoride reacts with water and forms H2SiF6 and H2SiO4. Okay, or I guess H2SiO6. Huh? Please check it out whether H2SiO4, H2SiO6. Confirm me by commenting. Okay. Next, write down. Next, write down this formula: Na into bracket NH4 HPO4 into 4H2O. Na into bracket NH4 bracket close HPO4 into 4H2O is known as a microcosmic salt. This NH4 into HPO4 into 4H2O is known as a microcosmic salt. Okay, NaNH4 HPO4 into 4H2O. Remember this. Thermite mixture is, this also you know, Fe2O3 plus Al. This I have done. Thermite mixture is Fe2O3 plus Al. Thermite mixture is Fe2O3 plus Al. Okay. Next, write down. When sodium, last 2-3 key points are there. When sodium is dissolved in ammonia, it shows pale blue color solution. And also the solution is a good conductor of electricity. When sodium is dissolved in ammonia, it shows pale blue color, and the solution which is formed is also a good conductor of electricity due to presence of solvated electrons and ions. Please see this, very important. This I hope you know also. So Na plus ammonia. Okay, it will form what? Na plus. Or I will take here. Remember this reaction, X plus Y ammonia. So it will form what? It will form Na into NH3 X. Okay, plus you can add on Y NH3 Y E minus. NH3Y minus. Okay, so this is nothing but an electrode because it is negative charge, so electron. Write down this. So when ammonia is dissolved in, when sodium is dissolved in ammonia, the color will be pale blue color, and the solution is a good conductor of electricity due to the presence of this unsolvated electron. This is one electron because it is having a minus charge. Okay. Write down next. Return this. Sure. Okay. We can see here there is one electron. Huh? Here there is one electron, or you can write down in this way also. ENH3Y. This is known as a unsolvated electron, or you can say ammoniated electron. So this is the reason which shows the color, and the electron is having the due to this electron they are good conductor of electricity. Okay. So next you can write down now most of I have given. Okay, so now enough, clear? So I hope you have written this. There are many other, one more you can write down, the creation of I3 minus. So I2 plus I minus will form I3 minus, and this I3 minus is only the compound which is having the oxidation number which we have asked. Okay, So these are the certain key points. A number of key points are given in your Pradeep also. You can read out. If any doubt is there, please ask me. Number of key points are there. So I cannot give each and every key point which are important, which are given in the questions I have given. Please read your Pradeep once more, especially your MCQs, and behind the MCQ there are a number of queries they have given that you solve and that you read it. Clear? Thank you.